Hi everybody, this is Sam and Ham.
This is Sam.
And this is Ham. And today we're going to be teaching your girlfriend how to play a barbarian. For this episode we're going to be going over the main class, and then in the next episode we're going to be going over the subclasses. Alright, sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty, let's get started with it.
Why a barbarian?
Because it starts with B, and it's the first one that comes alphabetically. And you've never played a barbarian.
You're right, I haven't.
You pretty much only know the mechanics for the classes you have played before.
Right, which is a rogue. I like rogues. They're good, they're fun, and they're sneaky.
There you go.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't need a barbarian.
Of the two of us, you are definitely a little bit less mechanically. You don't care about the mechanics of the class as much.
No, I just want to stab things. It's fun.
Yeah, no, that's fair, and that's a fun way to play the game. So today we're going to be going and just walking through some of these other classes, see if we can teach you a thing or two, and you let me know if you have any questions, I guess.
Do I have to actually play these characters later?
I don't know, it depends how fast you pick them up.
I'm going to drop them like it's hot.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright. So, to start off with the Barbarian, here are their class features, and we're just going to go through them one by one. You can see their proficiency bonus, it's normal, features, how many times they can rage a day, and the rage damage bonus. And we'll come back to those as they come up. Starting at level 1, you have a D12 hit die. Biggest in the game, the only one who gets a D12 hit die, because Barbarians are special.
Why are they special?
Because they have a D12 hit die, aren't you listening?
A little bit.
So the designers were like, shit, we haven't rolled a D12 all game. What do we do?
So you're telling me that the Barbarian's the only reason why we have a D12?
Yeah, pretty much. Them and great axes, which is also a barbarian weapon, so, you know.
Ah, so that means you would need 2 D12s then.
Well, really, you just roll the same one multiple times, but, you know.
What's the fun in that?
So, they got the D12 hit die. Armor, they have light, medium armor, and shields. They don't get heavy armor, surprisingly. They have simple weapons and martial weapons. They're proficient with strength and constitution saving throws. They're big, beefy boys. They get to choose 2 skills, the standard amount, from animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, and survival. Not a lot of choices. You're pretty much pigeonholed into one shtick.
And what if the barbarian wants to be a doctor? What if he went to med school?
That's from his backstory. Start with a pretty standard equipment of, hey, look, it's a great axe. What do you think they want you to play? Or a martial weapon, 2 hand axes, or a simple weapon, explorer pack, and 4 javelins to make sure you have at least 1 ranged weapon. Otherwise, you wouldn't have one. So, getting into the meat and potatoes, here we're going to look at the features. The biggest feature, and the only reason you would ever play a barbarian, rage. Rage gives you a few benefits. You have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. Mostly useful for grappling, because it's an athletics check. You get advantage on those.
What's the advantage to grappling?
People can't move.
Okay. But they can still swing at you.
Oh yeah, they can try. But, luckily, another feature they get in about 2 sentences will help deal with that.
Oh, well, good. Read on.
Whenever you make a melee weapon attack using strength, you gain a bonus to the damage roll that increases as you gain levels as a barbarian, shown in the rage damage column of the barbarian table. So, you do more damage when you hit people with a strength weapon.
Well, what if I wanted to use a rapier?
Oh, man.
That is a melee weapon.
It's true. It has finesse, which means you can use dexterity. But if you want to get the damage bonus, you have to use strength. And it has to be a melee weapon. So even if you use strength to throw a hand axe or something, no bonuses.
No bonuses?
Nope.
So you're saying the DM's way around the barbarian is to make sure he has to make ranged attacks?
Yeah, pretty much. Or spells. Spells will fuck them pretty good. Even then, ranged weapons won't deal well with the 3rd perk of rage. You have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. You have the most health, you resist most damage, you are a brick shithouse.
Interesting.
However, here are the downsides to rage. 1, you can't cast spells, and you can't concentrate on them while you're raging. So even if you cast one ahead of time, it falls as soon as you start raging.
Interesting.
Your rage lasts for a minute, and it ends if you're knocked unconscious, or if your turn ends and you haven't attacked a hostile creature, or been damaged.
So you're telling me it's not smart to rage on the other side of the room. I gotta get up in their face and then rage.
Yeah, pretty much. No just standing there. No, raging and taking the dodge action or dashing.
Interesting. But what if I rage, kill the guy, and the other guy's on the other side of the room?
Better get running. So
Okay, so how many times can you rage a day then? Can I just get mad, like, every single day, like,
I wish.
me without chicken nuggets?
That's funny. No, unfortunately. You start with 2 a day, you get 3 at 3rd level, and it keeps going up and up. Eventually, you get unlimited at level 20. So, if you're a level 20 barbarian, yes, you can rage all the time.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm a level 20 barbarian.
Yeah. Yeah, let's call it that.
Okay.
Oh, and it's a bonus action, enter your rage. So you can use bonus action, enter rage, and then hit somebody with a weapon. Same turn.
Interesting. Okay.
The other perk you get at level 1 is unarmored defense. While you're not wearing any armor, your armor class is equal to 10, plus your dexterity modifier, plus your constitution modifier.
So is that where the dex plays into this barbarian class then?
Yeah.
Over strength?
You're gonna still want more strength if you want to be able to hit people and get that damage bonus, but you're not going to want to neglect your dexterity either, or else your AC is going to be poo-poo.
Ah, so this is why barbarians tend not to be very charismatic then.
Yeah, the stereotype of the very stupid barbarian comes because this boy needs all them physical stats. You need strength to hit people, and dexterity and constitution to have any kind of chance of not getting hit.
Mm. Interesting. So what if I decided to neglect the con then?
You're gonna have no health or AC.
No health, no AC.
Correct.
Interesting.
You can use a shield with this one, which is actually kind of interesting because monks have very similar. It's actually also called unarmored defense, where they get to use dexterity and wisdom. However, monks cannot use shields while using this.
You know what else I know about that? Monk starts with the letter M, and we're working on B.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before we get to monk.
I'm gonna forget by then.
That's fair. We'll go back over it.
Okay.
Their next ability, they get a level 2. That was all just level 1. Level 2, you get Danger Sense. You have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects that you can see, such as traps and spells. To gain this benefit, you cannot be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. You basically just have some dumb luck to dodge fireballs.
Interesting.
The other ability, the more fun one you get at level 2, is called Reckless Attack. And this is the classic barbarian ability. This is why I would play a barbarian. Yeah, cool, resist damage. Yeah, cool. I'll stay alive longer. That's for cowards. Reckless Attack. Whenever you make your first attack on your turn, you can do so recklessly. Doing so gives you advantage on melee weapon attacks using strength this turn, but attack rolls against you have advantage until your next turn. So you can get all the advantage you ever want, but they get advantage right back.
Doesn't that cancel out?
No.
No?
Nope.
So if they have advantage and you have advantage, it doesn't...
Everybody gets advantage.
Just everybody gets advantage?
Everybody gets advantage. Other than your shitty allies. They don't need advantage. You're a barbarian. Hit a man. You
Swing first, ask questions later?
Yes, exactly.
Now you're in my wheelhouse. That's what a rogue does.
Level 3, this is where you get to pick your primal path, and we'll go over those at the end of this. Here are all your choices. Ancestral Guardian from Xanathar's, Battle Rager from the Sword Coast, Beast from Tasha's Cauldron, Berserker from the Player's Handbook, Storm Herald from Xanathar's, Totem Warrior, Player's Handbook, Wild Magic, Tasha's, Zealot, Xanathar's.
I thought barbarians didn't cast magic.
You'd think, and they kinda don't. We're not gonna be going over these ones here. This one's from Legends of Runeterra, which is just basically Wizards of the Coast sponsored homebrew. The Juggernaut is actually just homebrew, and the Beast and the Wild Soul are just old versions of Unearthed Arcana that didn't make it to official.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, the Wild Soul was basically the Wild Magic, and the Beast is basically the Beast.
Well, that makes sense. I now made the connection of Wild Magic and Beast.
Yeah, right? You'd think. Introduced in Tasha's is where they made some optional rules, and if you're playing with those rules, level 3 and at 10th level, you gain proficiency in one skill of your choice from the list of skills available to barbarians at first level. It's just more out-of-combat utility for barbarians, and I think that's always a good option because, well, quite frankly, I'm tired of all the mages solving all my out-of-combat problems.
And that's what happens when you have -2 to intel.
Yeah. Wait, are you talking about me or the barbarian?
Both of you.
Aw. Okay. Number 4, you get ability score improvements at 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th level. Standard for everybody. You can get your ability scores improved or a feat. Level 5, extra attack. Classic. Also at level 5, you get fast movement. Your speed increases by 10 feet while you're not wearing heavy armor.
It's very interesting that the big beefy guy that hits hard doesn't wear heavy armor.
Yeah, I mean, Conan wore a loincloth.
Yeah, well, I'm also thinking of, the knight in shiny armor who also hit hard.
And he's slow.
Anyway.
Also, has every barbarian that has ever been played that uses the unarmored thing, have they all made a "I'm naked at level 1" joke?
I don't know. I haven't played that much. Or been around barbarians.
I know Joe did the last time he played one. Remember the bugbear? Gren.
I don't remember that, but...
Level 1. Everybody always makes a naked barbarian joke. It's classic. But yeah, you move faster at level 5. Level 7, you get Feral Instinct. You have advantage on initiative rolls. And additionally, if you're surprised at the beginning of combat and aren't incapacitated, you can act normally on your first turn, but only if you enter a rage before doing anything else.
Interesting. So you have to get angry and then do things.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that you hit something before the end of your turn, or else the rage ends.
Yeah. The rage ends early if your turn ends and you haven't attacked someone since your last turn. So technically, you have 2 turns.
Okay, so you get 2 turns before you hit somebody, because it made it sound like it was 1 turn, like if you didn't hit somebody as soon as you raged.
No, you've got 1 turn to pull it off, basically.
Okay, so you got one sliver of hope.
Yeah, basically. And you don't even have to hit them, you just have to attack. You can miss.
Ah, good. That makes sense, and all the Hollywood movies now make sense, because, they miss all the time.
What's goofy, you can miss and keep your rage going, but if the enemy attacks you and misses, that doesn't help keep your rage going.
Oh?
Yeah, you have to take damage.
You have to take damage?
Yep. Or attack. Yeah, so getting attacked and blocking could actually make your rage end. So that's the other reason that the reckless attack could be handy, because then that guarantees, or more likely makes it so people will hit you.
So if you go to smack and you miss, and
rage keeps going.
And the rage keeps going, but they attack you, it stops?
No. It just ends if you don't attack, right? If you're just sitting there, and an enemy attacks you and misses, and then your turn ends, and then rage ends.
I think I follow, but I'm starting to question whether or not that's sane. So I go and smack you, and I miss.
Yeah, but that counts.
That counts. So I'm good for that turn.
Yeah.
So then next turn comes up, and I don't smack you.
Yeah, you just sit there.
I just sit here, and then you decide to attack me.
Yep. If I hit you,
and then you hit me,
your rage is good.
And then the rage is good.
Yeah. However, if you sit there for 2 turns, and I attack you and miss, rage ends.
Interesting. Well, if you hit me, does that rage stay?
Yep.
And then I'm still good, so then I could sit there 2 more turns?
Theoretically.
Ah, cool. Hit me, bro.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's basically, I think, to keep you from just literally going into combat, raging for the resistances, and then just trying to take dodge actions.
Ah, that would make sense.
Or just trying to keep you from raging between multiple combats. Realistically, I don't think I've ever seen a combat where it's really dropped often.
Ah, so this is where I test your patience.
Yes.
I rage and then not do anything.
Yes, that's where it happens.
Ah, good.
So, continuing on, another optional one from Tasha's Instinctive Pounce. As part of the bonus action you take to enter rage, you can move up to half your speed.
Interesting.
So you're fast as fuck, boy.
Sometimes you just gotta get it.
Yeah, man. And keep in mind, that's you have that plus 10 to your normal speed, so your base speed is probably 40 if you're a normal human. So you rage, move 20 feet, then you can move your other 40. So the first turn of combat, you can move 60 feet and still attack.
Interesting.
Yeah. Even farther if you dash.
Ooh.
So, level 9. You roll an additional weapon die whenever you crit with a melee weapon. So if you have a great axe, right? Normally does a d12. You roll a nat 20, you crit, now it does 2d12 plus strength, right? With a level 9 brutal critical, it's 3d12 plus strength.
Interesting.
And then that bonus increases to 2 additional dice at 13th level and 3 additional dice at 17th level.
Okay, so you're rolling the dice, and normal crits double. But because of this 9th level feat, you just get to roll 3.
Yes.
No matter what, as long as you roll that d20.
Yeah, as long as you crit, you get 3 dice.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you can crit on something not 20.
No, in 5th edition, it's only on a 20.
Unless you get a magical weapon that says otherwise.
Or technically, I guess, if you were like a champion fighter multi-class.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that too.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
I'm sure there are builds out there built around it, I'm sure.
I bet. Those are some creative people out there.
Smart Weasley bastards.
Weasley?
Weasley.
Ronald Weasley?
I'll take him for the barbarian type.
That's why I had to ask.
I think technically you would probably call him a wizard.
Huh.
Hey. And keep in mind that that goes up to 2 extra dice at 13th level. So at 13th level, you get 4d12 on a Great Axe crit. And at 17th level, 3 extra dice. So that's 5d12 on a crit.
Yeah, well, that's a crit. What's the % chance that you're going to crit?
Not high, but higher because of reckless attack. With the advantage, you have more likely to draw crits.
True.
Yeah. And then at level 11, and so level 11 is your second biggest power spike in the game. First biggest power spike is level 5. You get that second attack. You know, your casters get 3rd level spells. Everybody gets something good at level 5. Level 11 is the other big one. This is where fighters get their 3rd attack. This is where mages are getting, I think, 6th level spells. Shit is kicking off. And pretty much every martial class gets something kind of nutty here. And this is where Barbarian get Relentless Rage. This is where your rage can keep you fighting despite grievous wounds. If you drop to 0 hit points while you're raging, and don't die outright, you can make a DC 10 con save, and if you succeed, you get to 1 HP instead. Every time you use this feature after the first, the DC increases by 5. When you finish short rest or long rest, it goes back to 10. And you're proficient in Constitution saving throws. If you have good Constitution, you probably have, +3, +4 at this point. Have proficiency bonus by level 11 is +4. So if you have +7 to your saving throws, all you need is a 3 to save on the first one. So that's a 10% chance to fail, basically. Second and third time, it gets a little bit, the odds get away from you a little bit, but there's at least a pretty good chance you're not going to die.
Not going to die the first time?
I'd like to hope. You still can die of instant death effects, such as if you take damage over twice of your max health, or if you get like power word killed or something.
Right. Well, at a level, what is that, 11?
Yeah.
What are the odds that you're doubling that person's health damage via damage?
Spoken like the person who's never pissed off an ancient red dragon.
I forgot about the dragons.
Yeah. Which I also think it's a little weird that they don't get any kind of DPS increase other than staying alive. Which, then again, I suppose staying alive is a DPS increase in certain situations.
Yeah.
Can't do DPS if you're dead.
No, you cannot.
Level 15, you get Persistent Rage. Your rage is so fierce that it ends early only if you fall unconscious or if you choose to end it.
So you have to choose to not be angry.
Yeah.
I think I've spoken to the Hulk once or twice. That's not how that works.
Yeah, and that's what my therapist said.
Oof. Oof. Too deep.
Too deep. But yeah, so this is where you don't gotta worry about getting out of combat. Your rage always lasts a minute. Unless you go unconscious, of course. Indomitable Might at 18th level. If your total for a strength check is less than your strength score, you can use that score in place of the total. So, that basically means at level 18, you probably have 20 strength. Like, I don't see it happening that you won't. So if you roll a strength check, including grappling, that is less than 20, it's a 20.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you don't crit 20,
There's always, like, a minimum 20. So, yeah, it's just hard to fail grapple checks. There's no nat 1, oh, I fucked up. There's no funny situation where the barbarian tries to lift a boulder and, oh, nat 1, oh, the barbarian can't lift. Meanwhile, the 80-pound rogue walks over and just, nat 20, lifts boulder.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Nope, they got around that shit. And at level 20, you embody the power of the wilds. Your strength and constitution both increase by 4, and your max for those scores is now 24. Where 20 is normally the maximum, there's now 24, so.
Interesting. So, a primal champion is not someone that you want to go toe-to-toe with.
Probably not. But I mean, at level 20, if you're a smart boy caster, there's probably some way you can not get hit by the barbarian in melee.
Maybe if you're a level 20 wizard.
Fair point. I was assuming, yeah, you'd probably be a level 20 wizard. But yeah, if you're a level, 8 wizard, you're probably fucked.
Ah.
So, that's the last bit of the main class. Do you have any questions on anything?
No, not right now.
Alright. Well, that's going to be all for this episode. For the next episode, we'll be diving into all the subclasses. Do you have any you think might be interesting so far?
Didn't we talk about the wild magic? That's always been a favorite of mine.
You do love your wild magic sorcerers.
I do.
Well,
I like that unpredictability.
Yeah, that fits. So we'll dive into that next episode.